It's MLK Day. The nation, the city of Atlanta, and all of Morehouse College celebrating the birth of Dr. Martin Luther King. I love Morehouse College. Glad you can spend part of your holiday with us here for Maroon Tigers basketball. Charles Ward alongside Eric Slogan at the play call. Tucker Toole joins us in a moment. Eric, you're a Morehouse man. Talk about the specialness of this day. One of the first times in Morehouse basketball being able to play on the holiday.
That's amazing, isn't it? When Coach Moore talked about that, I looked at it, I'm like, wow, that is actually correct. Well, you know, it's not a Morehouse man, or even if you attended this school for one day, you know about the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. It's taught to us from the minute we step on campus, and there's no better way to represent him today than having this home contest.
We absolutely would like to have a win as a part of the holiday celebration as well.
Absolutely, but it will be a tough one today because Albany State is a quality opponent.
Albany State in this afternoon. The Maroon Tigers fresh off the win over Fort Valley earlier in the week. Tight ball game, 62-57. Lowest output for the Maroon Tigers all season long. What were some of your takeaways in that ball game?
Well, we did get a victory. We came off that loss against Benedict, so the guys had to refocus and get themselves together. We had a great game offensively on the boards and assist-wise, but of course we still struggle from that free throw line. If we improve on the free throw line, there's days where this team's unbeatable. They're going to have to do that day because you got a well-coached Albany State team coming off a victory against Clark Atlanta.
Patrick Hale, the head coach at Albany State in his first year. They with wins, like you said, off of Clark Atlanta, coming in at number 2 in the East. So another critical ball game for the Maroon Tigers.
It's conference play time. Forget about that record, only 7 wins. It means nothing. This is a quality team. This is an important game, all about the seeding for the SIAC tournament.
The stage is set here on MLK Day on the campus of Morehouse College. Maroon Tigers getting set to host the Golden Rams of Albany State. Tip-off just ahead.
Well, 2 years ago they just showed the action. They didn't have commentary.
Sometimes that's bad, yeah. Good job, Peter. And we take this camera and roll in front of a girl, the singer. You want to go, she could be doing the stuff, playing down it, just roll in front of the square in front of her. Okay. There's always a look, just make sure you, hey, you can look to the camera, look to the monitor, you turn the monitor any way you want. There you go. Get in front of her. Go in front of her.
Performed by the last year American Idol finalist, Miss Victoria McQueen.
Liberty.
Now, this week's starting lineup representing the Golden Rams. At guard, number 10, Jared Harrington.
Live inside Forbes Arena, getting set for men's basketball action. The Maroon Tigers getting set to host the Golden Rams of Albany State. SIAC Basketball. Golden Rams out of Albany, Georgia. Starting lineup for them, they'll shape it up this way. It'll be Jared Harrington, the senior from Morehouse, Maryland, going at the guard position. Leads the team in scoring with over 15 points per ball game. Randy McClure, the junior from Paulding County of Georgia, just a couple of miles away from Atlanta. He'll start this afternoon at swing position. 7 points on the season for him on a game average, and just over 4 rebounds per ball game. Napoleon Harris, the junior from Albany, Georgia, will go at the other forward position. He leads the Golden Rams in rebounding with 7.6 rebounds per outing for Albany State. It'll be Terrell Williams, the senior from Miami, going at the other guard position. Williams, the senior from Miami, with 12 points and 7 rebounds per ball game. Golden Rams at 7-12 on this season, coached by Patrick Gale in his first year. Golden Maroon Tigers of Morehouse I'll be introduced to you inside. Slightly different lineup this afternoon for Morehouse. It'll be Shabazzy Evan going at one of the guard positions. He's a sophomore from Maryland. Also starting with the Maroon Tigers this afternoon, the senior from Stone Mountain, Georgia, 6'5", Walker, 9 points per ball. Michael Olmert, the junior at the point guard position, he'll start this afternoon, 10 points, 3 rebounds per outing for Olmert. Leads the team, second in the nation in the assist per ball game at 7.9. Terrell Good, at 6'4", averaging 5 points and 1 rebound per outing. And rounding out the 5 in the middle, it'll be the senior Omar Austin. Austin at 6'6", 215, averaging just over 14 points per ball game and his 5th in the nation rebounds per ball game at 11. So those are the starting 5 for Coach Grady Brewer and the Maroon Tigers this afternoon. Coach Brewer, assisted by Douglas Whitler, Jarvis Hayes, and Martravius Little, along with Harold Clay. Coach Brewer in his 19th season. And the Maroon Tigers trying to make it an 15 games win season so far if they can take this win this afternoon against the Golden Rams and maintain first place in the East of the SIAC. Officials for this afternoon's ball game: Rodney Williams, Glenn Tewitt, and John Rigsby. And it's Tewitt that's going to be the crew chief for this fine officiating crew. As the Golden Rams and the Maroon Tigers get to center court on MLK Day. Glad you could spend part of your holiday with us. Going to be Omar Austin, and he will be jumping against Napoleon Harris. Harris, the junior from Albany. Golden Rams winners earlier in the week at Clark, Atlanta. And the Maroon Tigers coming off the win earlier in the week against Fort Valley. So set to begin now. And it'll be Glenn Tewitt to toss it up. Morehouse, in recognition of the King holiday, dressed in all black. And so are most of us at the storage table.
And I'm sure Dr. King would be happy if the Maroon Tigers got a W here today.
So we're underway. Morehouse with it in a half-court set to get us going. Right side.
Charles Tucker, you can see immediately that Albany State has some length, and we got some big guys down low with some good size on them.
Good at the free throw line, able to knock down a jumper from there. Morehouse takes the early 2-0 lead.
Got two teams that will see each other pretty quickly back-to-back as they'll play again down in Albany in under 2 weeks.
Inside, they got it inside to Harris, and Harris fouled. He will go to the line. Quick call on that. Not sure who got hit with that foul for the Maroon Tigers, but it'll send Harris to the free throw line.
According to the board, it's got Tramel Gooden. So that foul's on Gooden as the young man makes that first free throw.
Just underway here at Forbes Arena. Harris on the season, just 36% from the free throw line for the Golden Rams, 11 of 31. No ill effects there.
He knocked down those two like it was no problem.
So Gooden, half court, nearly lost his dribble and almost threw it away, and he does. It's taken away by Whitaker for the Golden Rams. They'll work it down low, reverse lay-in, shots off the mark, but Harris there with the backside rebound, and he missed on the putback.
Well, Charles, it'll be interesting to see what kind of offensive rhythm the Maroon Tigers can get into with this new starting lineup. James Walker has struggled in the past few games. You know they would love to let him get into a rhythm.
Walker with only 1 point in the ball game against Fort Valley, the last outing for the Maroon Tigers. Austin at the block, contact down there. Omar to the line for Morehouse.
In the contest Saturday against Fort Valley, it was Robert Andrews who had the hot hand early for the Maroon Tigers. He'll be coming off the bench today as an instant offense type of player. I'm thinking Shabazze and James will be trying to get their offense going at the free throw line. We'll see how Omar can do to start today.
Andrews with 15 points against Fort Valley, and Omar with a good start from the free throw line. He got that first free throw. It has been a mighty struggle for the Maroon Tigers overall, and Omar included in that at just 46% from the free throw line, and he knocks them both down here.
Maybe it's something in the water today. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's MLK Day.
Yes, you go.
Little MLK magic in the air today. Morehouse with a 4-2 lead.
You know, Charles, I was interested to see this Albany State team doing the research on them. They've had games where they scored as little as 29 points and one game where they scored 92. It was in a losing effort, but that's a 70-point difference.
Behind the defense, good lead pass up the floor, and Morehouse builds a 16 lead. Coach Brewer wants a travel there as the Golden Rams came across the timeline. Instead, they'll take a hard jumper outside by McClure. It's off the mark. And coming back the other way now, Austin left side on the weave, Cabell. And there's Shabazze from outside, pumps the three-pointer. That's off the mark. Austin trying to touch pass down low to Cabell. Cabell not looking.
One thing you already noticed in this game is the Tigers picking up the pace. You know, they didn't start Saturday's game with this speed, and now they've been picking up the pace on the offensive and defensive side of the floor.
Mario Young handling in the backcourt for the Golden Rams. Over to Whitaker. Down at the block now. They got it to Tyrell Williams. Williams able to convert for a lay on the inside.
6'9", and I'm going to say at least 250, maybe 260. He's going to be a load to handle down there.
Got about 240 on the roster. Could be 250.
That was at the beginning of the season.
Right.
I was just about to say, that's a big boy.
Gooden suckles right side with the floater and left it short. There's the big boy with the rebound on the inside, Williams. Gooden had a good look there, though. Kind of got the sense that he felt like it was too much alone. Missed on the shot. Back out front now with the jumper. That's Young. Missed on the shot. Austin clears the rebound. He leads the conference in rebounding for the Maroon Tigers. Shabazze tried to leave it inside on a whistle.
I think they're going to get Shabazze for being out of control. He went to make that extra pass, as we saw the Maroon Tigers do all day on Saturday to get easier baskets. But that time he was just a little out of control.
So the basketball. Look, we're going to go back the other way. It looks like it's going to be Morehouse shooting here.
Wow, so they called it against Albany.
Yeah, called it against Williams on the inside.
Okay. So it'll be Morehouse ball out of bounds, but we'll take that call.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we did get a turnover. That's one place we did struggle on Saturday as well. We had about 19 or 20 turnovers in that game against Fort Valley, and no Coach Brewer wants to clean that up.
Indeed. Inordinate number of turnovers for Morehouse in that contest. And they forced 23 turnovers by Fort Valley, which is one of the reasons they want to win that ball game.
Fort Valley shot better than we did from the floor, made more free throws. They pretty much led in every statistic except the final score.
Walker at the block, can't convert on the lay-in there. Still some remnants of last ball game for Walker. Lid still closed for it. Down at the block, floaters at the block by Young. That's easy. He got it. Tied at 6 now. Austin cross the right side. Now Olbert pushes through. Walker in the corner, raises, fires for three, missed on the shot from the corner. Leads to a break for the Golden Rams, but Morehouse able to catch up in transition. Across the floor now, High to the rack. Spinner is good. Jawan High, the junior from Americus, Georgia, with his first points of the ball game. And Albany State with an 8-6 lead.
That basket by Albany State was facilitated by Randy McClure, who will have this ball here now. He was a teammate of Michael Ulmer at Campbell High School. Of course, his father is Randy McClure Sr., Morehouse alumnus. He called me this morning. He said, I'll be the conflicted one with the Morehouse sweatsuit and the Albany State dad shirt.
Timeout on the floor with 15:45 left first half. 8-6 lead for the Golden Rams. Back with more after the break. Out 15:45 left first half. Morehouse trailing by 2 with the basketball. Walker, left corner, still trying to get him into some rhythm here. 2 from the floor thus far.
And Robert Andrews has made his way back into the lineup for the Maroon Tigers, and maybe Coach Brewer looking for some offensive push for his guys.
Shabazzi inside, he couldn't convert. Walker missed on the putback, but they're finally able to get the basket on the inside. So tied at 8 now. Albany State with the basketball. Young handles out front. Trying to get it down low to Harris at the block, who's guarded by Ulmer. Big height differential there. Shot from outside's off the mark. Morehouse back the other way. Walker, nice push pass inside the Austin for the basket.
Textbook defensive rebound, fast break execution by the Maroon Tigers, and a great pass from Walker to Austin.
When you have an instinctive big man like Omar Austin running from rim to rim, that's just an easy play for your teammate to make.
So Morehouse with a 10-8 lead. Now we got a whistle down on the offensive end of the floor. Offensive foul against the Golden Rams, who go back to Morehouse with the basketball. Aaron Washington, the junior from Jonesboro, Arkansas, out on the floor now for the Golden Rams. He will replace Napoleon Harris in the Albany State lineup. 14:42 left first half. Austin, right corner, Ebonham. Shabazzi on the move at the block. Pushed it back out over. Walker in the corner again for 3. Can't find the range. Backside rebound fought for. Austin had a hand on it. Couldn't pull it in. Young handles for Albany State.
So that corner 3 was a staple for James Walker last season. It seems like he's just having a little bit of trouble being able to find that touch.
Out front now, Ulmer going for the steal as High works it left side to the rack. Got an underhand shot there, but he missed on the lay-in. Right corner, here comes Ebonham now. Shabazzi in traffic and threw it away. Young thought about challenging a 1-on-2 set. Now he thinks better and pulls it back out front. This is Williams in traffic, and they throw it away again. Ebonham, left side, runs the floor. And Williams catching up with the play. He'll foul Shabazzi, and he will go to the line for the Maroon Tigers.
Aaron Washington had a great inside position for Albany State, but it was a bad entry pass. Leads to yet another Golden Rams turnover. Their 4th already here in the contest.
A couple of substitutions set to come in next dead ball. 3 for the Maroon Tigers and 2 for the Golden Rams, but at the line, it's the sophomore from Maryland. Ebonham with the first free throw attempt, and he missed there.
He was supposed to be our automatic guy at the free throw line.
He certainly leads the team with 73% from the line coming into today's ball game. Keith Hurd out on the floor now for the Maroon Tigers. He'll replace Obert in the lineup. James Walker takes his seat.
And you see Coach Brewer already going to the depth of his bigs, trying to compete in there with Albany's bigs.
Colin Hadnot, the junior at 6'4", out on the floor for the Maroon Tigers.
Well, Keith Hurd now into the game. He started against Fort Valley. Had a good game against Fort Valley. Made 2 or 3 of those baseline jump shots that he likes. Let's see if he can pick up where he left off.
Harrington outside. He missed on the jump shot there. 13:23 left first half. Morehouse with a 2-point lead. Obert out front now. Nice cross dribble by Michael to the rack left side. Got the space. Couldn't get it to fall. Hadnot with a tough rebound on the inside to get Morehouse a fresh 30 though. Hurd in the corner. As we go to 13:03 left. Across the floor, this is Andrews. Drinks a 3-pointer.
He can do that. He can make those difficult shots, and he had a hand right in his face, and he still drained it.
I think what we got to do is have Morehouse shoot on this end of the floor all the time, but that's the end of the floor that he really lights it up from.
First points of the ball game for Andrews. Andrews has led for the Maroon Tigers in the last 5 ball games. Got his first 3 there, and the defense comes away with a turnover as the Golden Rams try to get it deep down inside. And they get turnover number 6 instead.
The Tigers trying to add to that defensive push, inserting Tramel Gooden into the game, as well as Kendall Walker, subbing in for Michael Ullman.
12:37 remains first half. Morehouse building its lead now 13-8. Kendall Walker handling. Senior from Jackson, Tennessee. Right side, Hadnot on the weave. It's good. Now Wheaton hard to the rack. Missed there. Coming across, Spider-Man's Keith Hurd trying to corral that rebound and a putback all in one motion. And he drew a foul in the process.
He is flying through the air like a superhero, and he'll be rewarded with 2 free throw shots.
Keith got Young with the foul there.
Yeah, Keith Hurd getting up on that one. His head got pretty close to the rim on that one, guys.
Hurd coming alive last few ball games for the Maroon Tigers. His minutes have been up in the lineup. On Monday, had 6 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 block shot in that contest.
Well, we know, like you said, he started the year injured, but he's healthy now. Maroon Tigers are into their conference play, and he's a upperclassman on this team, so he needs to come out with leadership and show these younger guys what it's about, because when they get into conference play and tournament play, there's going to be a lot of guys on this team that don't know exactly what to expect.
Hurd got that free throw. Morehouse builds its lead 15-8 now. Out front, Whitaker. At the post, they go to Harris. Left corner now, that's Titus Burns. The redshirt freshman from Havana, Florida. They throw it away. Morehouse. Andrews, left side to the rack.
Talk as you want to say, you want me. You saw how he hung in the air, used his body to fend off the defender, and got that layup.
Timeout, 11:51 left first half. Morehouse with a 17-8 lead. Back after the break. Back live inside Forbes Arena. MLK Day. Morehouse hosting the Golden Rams of Albany State. Whistles in the backcourt. We get Tramel Gooden there for a blocking foul as Morehouse is in that full court pressure. Well, guys, it's MLK Day here on the campus, across the country, actually around the world. So I've got some MLK trivia for you all.
How did I not know you would have some facts for us? Come on, let's hear it.
Charles always has the facts.
First question of the day. This is fun facts, nothing too heavy here.
All right, let's do it.
Golden Rams will get in after this play for the Golden Rams on their half-court set here. Burns, up top Whitaker.
Whitaker from Largo, Florida, transferred from Missouri State. That's a great program in the Midwest.
Inside floater there by Burns. And they got a basket on the inside. Good follow-up there.
Harris went over the top of Keith Hurd right there. Had a moment. I couldn't think I had a where he was going. Yeah, but he went right over. Hurd had good position, but he was able to get right on top of him and get that putback.
Kennedy to Hurd from outside. Rare extended jumper by him. He usually likes those corner sets with his jumper, but took one out front there and missed it.
You usually see him pull up in that short corner, that baseline jumper, but he was extended on the perimeter on that one.
Hadnot leads the break with the pass to Kennedy. Kennedy gets it right back to him.
And that's what Coach Brewer has Hadnot in the game for. He wants him to get in there, get those rebounds, and score in the paint.
Okay, so Dr. King and wife Coretta King were married in 1953, married in Marion, Alabama, whistled inside on that play. What's the one unique thing about their honeymoon? You guys are Morehouse men now. You should know this.
I don't remember a class about the romance between Dr. King and Miss Coretta. Okay, I give on this one.
I haven't taken that class yet, Charles.
Yeah, you still got some time to go. Yeah. In Marion, Alabama back then, it was all segregated, so they did not have a hotel they could rent in Marion, Alabama for a honeymoon suite. So guess where they spent their honeymoon?
Is it still in Alabama? Or did they have to go to Louisiana, maybe?
Still in Alabama.
Either Selma or Montgomery.
At a local funeral parlor.
Oh, wow.
What a way.
Boy, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't want to take a guess. I knew I was.
You know, I know some men that say you die when you get married, so you know.
It's just symbolic. It's, from the time we get married till we're done.
That's right.
Till we leave the earth.
There you go.
So at the line, Harris misses there. He got 1 of 2 from the line.
I like that one, Charles. That was a good one. I can't wait to hear the rest.
We got a few more.
They were like, we might as well start where we're going to finish.
That's kind of what the storyline is there.
And Lee Kinder into the game.
Andrews looking to get off again. Right corner with the jumper. This one creases around and off the block. Young clears for the Golden Rams. Outlet pass and on the move, left side. Shot would not fall for high, but a whistle inside the paint.
But no, Walker didn't take the charge there. He did get good positioning, to stop the defender from making that layup, which caused him to miss that layup, even though.
But that layup really was altered by a Collin. Had not going 6'4", he really can rise real high. He plays more like 6'6" or 6'7".
Young to shoot for the Golden Rams. Perfect form by him from the line. He's an 84% free throw shooter for Albany State. Leads the team in that category. 3rd in the conference from the charity stripe.
Well, like we said in the opening, we can't even look at their record. 7 wins means nothing. This is a really good team. Looks like they're going to hit their stride in the second half of the season as they played a lot of tough teams. They played Valdosta State twice in the early goings, and that's a nationally ranked team. So when you play that quality competition, it really prepares you for your conference play.
Half-court set now for the Maroon Tigers, leading at 19-13. Olbert circles left side. Golden Rams have dropped into a 3-2 defense now. Olbert attacks. Nice bounce pass inside to Austin. He got it over to James, and Walker is fouled. He'll go to the line.
Well, maybe some free throws to go down can get James Walker into the groove offensively that he's been looking to get into. We know what he can do when he gets going. I spoke to the coaches the other day. I said, what are we going to take? Because once he gets going, he can carry us offensively.
We'll see if this is the key. Good point there. You want to try to get him off any way you can. Got that first free throw there.
And sometimes all it takes is one free throw for real.
Absolutely. You've seen it all the time.
Real hot offensive players. We've seen that on every level. Free throw line can get any
free throw or layup. So we got those 2, Charles.
So Walker, first points of the ball game. 21-13. Morehouse leads it now. Aaron pass by the Rams. Half-court set back to Morehouse. And McClure trying to get it down in the corner to Harrington. And
like we mentioned earlier about Walker, he loves that corner. Maybe we can see if those free throws, gave him a little touch that he can hit it now.
Morehouse attacking that zone defense of the Golden Rams now. Entry pass Austin. Tried to bounce pass it over to James. And foul call.
Charles Tucker, I haven't seen much film of Albany State, but do you think maybe they saw the film of the Fort Valley Morehouse game and they're going to mimic that zone that gave us the trouble on Saturday?
Yeah, Coach Brewer in his post-game comments on Monday referenced that very thing. That film catches up with you at some point.
Absolutely. Teams know what you do, know what you like to do, and they're trying to counter it.
And Albany definitely has the personnel
they're long
to have that zone.
Absolutely. They're tall and they're long.
Effect on jump shooters.
Even their guards, I'm looking at number 10. He's got some really long wingspan on him.
Sure, he's at 6'5". But to your point, you guys made the point in the last ball game, the way you defeat that zone is you work inside out. But that time the defense comes away with a turnover. Golden Rams back the other way now. Sliding the paint is McClure and across the floor. Right corner, Young with the basketball. Now McClure challenges Ebonham in the paint, got him airborne, and he got an easy quick shot as a result.
That was just a nice move by McClure. Yeah, nice little floater over the middle.
Great ball fake is what got Ebonham up in the air, and Ebonham coming down. He was going up. Easy shot.
Well, McClure is a smooth offensive player. There's James Walker. Went to the left hand, couldn't get it to go down, though.
Andrews comes away with it for Morehouse, though. They'll have another look. At the block, Austin challenges on the inside. Williams denies the Golden Rams with the basketball.
No whistle blew by the referees. I heard the crowd asking for the contact foul. He must have thought he was clean, whatever he saw.
21-15, Morehouse leads. McClure just in front of the Morehouse bench with the basketball. Anticipation by Ebonham. Let's see a show. We got it there. Shabazy rush after the steal.
Chibeze on the steal, leading to the easy fast break jam.
So Chibeze, great anticipation there with the steal. 23-15. Morehouse building its lead now. Out front, this is Young. Down at the block and a whistle there. Walker trying to catch up with that play.
They're going to call a hold against James, and that foul will take us to our next timeout.
7:26 left first half. Morehouse leads back after the break. Back live inside Forbes Arena. 7:26 left first half. MLK Day basketball from Morehouse College. Maroon Tigers with a 23-15 lead over the Golden Rams of Albany State Conference action this afternoon at the boards.
Well, Charles Tucker, we have an 8-point lead from the Maroon Tigers. Looking at these stats, neither team tearing it up from the floor. Morehouse shooting 40%, Albany State only shooting 33%. But what are we doing? We're making our free throws.
That's the difference so
That's
far.
the difference right now.
Young missed on the first attempt for the Golden Rams, but they got the rebound, and they'll go back inside, and they get rewarded with Harris banking the shot home for the Golden Rams. 23-17 now. Morehouse with the lead and basketball.
And now you see they have Harris at the top of that zone.
That's tapped in the backcourt. Morehouse will be able to run that one down and reset. They'll only have 13 to shoot now. Ebonham out front in the corner. Andrews, he'll raise, fire. Back of the iron on that deep three-pointer there. Rebound cleared by Walker and the Golden Rams. Walker a bit out of control. There's Omar Austin calling with that play to tie him up. Got the jump ball call, and it'll stay with the Maroon Tigers.
What awesome defense by Omar Austin. That player was in full speed stride, and he was able to reach in there and still tie him up without committing a foul.
Great call on that. You're absolutely right. 6:39 left first half.
Almost a steal.
To Williams. For the travel there.
I didn't know if he traveled or they were going to get him for that dip of the shoulder. He pushed off just a little bit.
Could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Got him for the travel. So Morehouse will have the basketball with 6:34 left in the first half. Okay, easy one, guys. Softball for you.
Okay.
You know that Dr. King was the first African American to be Man of the Year for Time Magazine in 1963, right?
Okay.
Who was the only other African American man to become Man of the Year for Time?
I'm going to give you a guess. I'm assuming ex-President Barack Obama.
There you go. Top of the class. Front of the class for you.
Okay.
Tucker?
A little too slow.
That's okay.
I got to work on it.
We know you're working on it. 6:13 left first half now. Morehouse.
I was 90% sure on that one, on that guess. You know, I was speaking to some of my friends over there. I'm like, you know, it's so wonderful to be a Morehouse man. I've been here almost 20 years, and I've been able to see ex-President Barack Obama speak twice. Once at a Morehouse commencement, and a couple weeks ago at the rally for, unfortunately, our governor candidate didn't win.
Stacey Abrams.
Yes.
Walker out front now. Left corner to Andrews. We're at 5:40 left. James thought about three there, didn't take it. Chibeze, he will, and he'll hit the back of the iron. He had a real good look there.
It was online. It looked like it was on halfway down before it came back up.
Right corner now. Go to Rams with the basketball. This is Walker. Entry pass inside. It's Harris and a whistle at the block.
Great moves by that young man, pivoting and going up strong.
And that's the biggest guy on the floor.
Harris at 6'8". Slim 6'8" at 210 listed there. He leads them in rebounding at 7.6 per ball game, third in the conference there. Also leads them in assists at 1.8 per ball game, total of 34. And he leads them in steals with a total of 20. 1.1 steal per ball game for Harris, and he missed on the free throw there.
I don't know about Liggett because Tyrell Williams is pretty big. We should call those guys the Twin Towers because they're both pretty big.
Yeah, Williams is at 6'9", but he's got a bigger frame at 240. As Harris converts on the free throw. Cairo Whitfield out on the floor now for the Maroon Tigers. Coach Brewer trying to see if he can't find somebody that can match up with those bodies on the inside.
And Harris came out as well for Albany State.
But right now, you've got a mismatch down low. You got the 6'7" Whitfield being guarded by a 6'3" Young. You need to find a way to take advantage of that.
Olbert, he'll fire the three-pointer from outside, crease the rim, but the rebound to Andrews and a fresh 30. Abaddon, nice pass to Whitfield, but can't take advantage of the entry pass.
Swing it to the left now, get it down low. Look at that mismatch down there. You should take advantage of that all day.
18 to shoot for the Maroon Tigers. Whitfield out front now. Austin handles left side. Now 10 to shoot for the Maroon Tigers. Alley-oop inside Andrews, and they can't connect on the pass. Turnover gives it back to the Golden Rams.
Six turnovers.
6 for the Maroon Tigers. And a whistle inside the paint. Foul against the Maroon Tigers.
No, foul against Albany.
Going back against the Golden Rams, yeah.
So a turnover for Albany, number 7, and off the bench from Maroon Tigers, Xavier Brewer.
And that was on Benji Baptiste for the Albany State Golden Rams.
And junior from Orlando, Florida. So Brewer on the floor now. A couple of minutes action for him in Monday's ball game, just 2 points. But they were a big 2 when he kicked that basket.
Yeah, it was a timely jumper when he hit that shot.
Andrews out front now. Morehouse with a 25-18 lead. Brewer off the bench with the jumper. Spinners off the mark for the freshman there.
He had a good look at it. He was open in that baseline. As he matures as a player, that shot will go down more often.
We're approaching 4 minutes left first half. Golden Rams half-court set.
Both teams have gone cold from the floor, Charles. We haven't seen a basket go through for either team in quite a few minutes.
Foul going to be called down low. Call the foul on Whitfield for the Maroon Tigers. Comes with 3:55 left, and it comes to it with a time.
Infinity, empower the drive.
Less than 5 minutes. So right when we leave, right time halftime, I run it. Then you come back and be different.
One to go. Dante Grant from the shot. It's good!
Back live inside Forbes Arena, 3:55 left first half. Maroon Tigers basketball on Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Glad you can join us, spending part of your holiday with us here on the Maroon Tigers Sports Network. Charles Ward, Eric Slaughter, and Tucker Toole with the play call. And at the line for the Golden Rams after the timeout, Benji Baptiste Jr. from Orlando shooting here, and he got the first free throw. Tucker, you just got out of that Maroon Tiger huddle. What'd you hear?
Well, Coach Brewer was drawing up his own offense, and like we've been saying all game, and what you have to do against that zone, you got to get high-low action with your bigs, and that's exactly what he was telling his guys. He wants to find, open slots for those passes from the wing to get to his bigs.
Baptiste missed on the second of 2. It's a 25-19 lead for the Maroon Tigers. Olbert handles out front, draws the defense, and he drew a foul inside. A triple team that time on Olbert as he penetrated the paint.
But the Maroon Tigers are in the bonus, so they'll be heading to the free throw line to shoot 1-1. Both teams actually in the bonus for the last 3:43 of this first half.
Michael slightly banged up after that contact on the inside.
Oh yeah, he got in there with those big guys and got a block or a tackle, if you want to call it.
Had a brief word with his father, who's traditionally here for every home game, taking pictures today, and gave Eric a big shout out for his work on air.
I think he said for all of us.
We appreciate the comment. No question about
it. He's a proud Morehouse father, and we always talk about him, but we also give credit to the Gooden family, and I guarantee you, the Omar Austin's family, they're here often.
Yeah, Whitfield,
they're here all the time, And anybody here that watches and listeners, come say hello to us. We'd be happy to give all you guys some love here on air.
No question.
Tigers have great support.
Yeah, a couple of us are very approachable. I don't know about Tucker.
thought you were talking about yourself there, Charles.
So Brewer got the first free throw there for the Maroon Tigers.
Well, Michael Allman has come off not be able to shoot his own free throws, so they put the freshman on the line as the replacement. Michael Allman's got some ice on his neck now. Hopefully he doesn't have anything that's a stinger or anything like that.
We'll sure get an update from head trainer Craig Boyd at halftime. Give you an update on his condition. Brewer missed on the second of two.
Well, that'll force Kendall Walker into major minutes, at least in the meantime here. He'll probably close out this first half. And he's a senior, so he has been through this program. He'll know what to do.
Turnover by the Golden Rams in a half-court set. That takes the turnover total to 10 now. And the basketball back over to the Maroon Tigers.
And Jarvis Adley is over there on the bench as well for the Maroon Tigers.
He's in uniform today. He hasn't been dressed out for some of the games, so we'll see if he gets some playing time.
If Allmert isn't able to make his way back onto the court, they do have another guard.
Avenham back out on the floor for the Maroon Tigers as Walker handles up front. That's Kendall Walker. Andrews now 12 to shoot for the Maroon Tigers. Across the floor, Kendall. He's on the move right side. Picked up in the corner and has to push back out front. 6 to shoot. Whitfield fires. Crease the rim. A rebound to Albany State. 2-on-2 basketball now. Whitfield, great play down low with the steal on transition.
The hands of our big men today just right on time. That's 2 now that our big men have been able to steal the ball away.
So half-court set now. Morehouse with a 26-19 lead after good defensive work by Cairo Whitfield. Avenham, thought 3 at the block. Brewer hit the side of the backboard with that shot. Still in play. The Golden Rams run it down the floor, and down low they're trying to get a timeout. That's high.
No, we got a jump ball.
Still go with the Golden Rams. 2:30 remains first half. James Walker back out on the floor now.
And Coach Brewer having a teaching moment there with his son about that shot that he just took.
And really all it is just take your time. You know, he rushed that shot, and that's why it was so off. That's a shot he'll probably make 9 times out of 10 in practice. He's got to translate that to a game.
And to your point earlier on that, he's a freshman kind of finding his way here. And one thing that he's finding out as he goes is that the game is a lot quicker at the college level than it is in high school.
Yeah, he was a 20-point scorer in high school, so it'll come to him.
Walker doubled at the sideline. Somehow it gets into the hands of Chavez.
You know, Charles, you'll know this. I'm going to tell Tucker about this. Being in the SIAC for so many years, we've seen the father-son coach-player element so many times. I think about Anthony Witherspoon and Anthony Witherspoon Jr. at Clark, Atlanta. But the one I really want to talk about is Albany State. Do you remember Dr. John I. Davis and his son, John III?
Yeah, he was a player.
Yes, Tucker, you want to talk about, he may have been the best three-point shooter in the history of the SIAC.
Sure.
There was one time I believe down at the tournament, he might have had 10, 12 threes made in the game. They actually called him the legend that day.
Yeah.
I mean, he could,
a very game.
He had in the court range.
Albany State.
Albany State. His dad was the coach. He's an athletic director and head coach. Dr. John Davis. He was John Davis III.
Got an injured Golden Ram down under the basket here after some contact on the inside. And they'll have to attend to him as well.
Head coach over there to take a look.
Yeah. And we're talking about not the coaches and players in a part of the SIAC. You're talking about John Davis with his ability to shooting the basketball three-point range. Reminded me of the other guy that wasn't a father-son coach, but it was a three-point artist over at Clark, Atlanta at the time, William Burr.
Oh, wow. Yes, he was number 11, right? He was an all-conference guard.
Sure. Just anywhere from half court, he was a threat.
Yeah. Coach Witherspoon was the coach at Clark for many years, and he kept talent in that program. It was those were the days when the Morehouse-Clark rivalry was just at its best.
He attempted very extreme rivals.
But that young man's up. Looks like he will be okay. He's going to his bench.
Jawan High, the junior from Americus, Georgia, going to the Golden Ram bench. That was the injured player. So see if we can get an update on him as well. So Michael Obert still getting that ice treatment from the head trainer at Morehouse. And High on the Golden Ram bench. 1 minute, 51 left first half. 26-19. Morehouse with the lead. The officials conferring now.
Well, Charles, while we got this little break, I'm ready for another trivia question. Put one on me.
Just read my mind. Okay, so we know that Dr. King became an ordained minister, and he went the theology school and received a degree there. But what was one of his first preferences in terms of a profession before going into the ministry?
Well, he came to Morehouse as a 15-year-old, and I'm a one assume he probably wanted to be an educator.
Good guess. Tucker, you can guess on this.
Did he want to go into medicine?
Oh, all right. Got to share that seat now, Eric.
That's what the answer?
Got the right answer.
Okay, pre-med, okay.
There we go.
Well, we know Morehouse College puts more black men in the medical school than any other institution in the country, so all right.
Yeah, he was going one of two ways, either medicine or the law profession. So. But got the calling, and he saw a lot of the law in terms of justice and everything that prevails as a part of the ministry just as much, and made the decision, and thankfully so, for all of America and the world. Golden Rams half-court set as Whitaker fouled on the attempted shot there with a minute 10 left first half.
But we've had a good pace to this game so far, but the last few minutes with some of these injuries and some of these ways that slowed down the game, both of these teams have gotten a little bit out of rhythm.
26-21, Morehouse leads, and we referenced it in the last ball game. Morehouse with only 62 points in that ball game. They won it, but that's their lowest scoring ball game during the course of the season. And this one looks to be on track to be very low scoring as well.
Lots of defense. Like I said, neither team really shooting great from the floor. The Maroon Tigers at 32%. Albany State currently at 31%.
Whitfield misses badly on that free throw there. Morehouse right now 7 of 11 from the free throw line. Half-court set for the Golden Rams now, under a minute left first half.
Now I want you to look at this lineup on the floor for the Maroon Tigers. You don't have a traditional guard on the floor. I want to wait to see. I'm assuming that Omar Austin will actually take the ball handling duties for the Maroon Tigers. In the game where he got his triple-double, he played about 10 to 12 minutes at the point guard role.
If you assess what's out there, you would think that he would be handling it.
Yeah.
Behind the arc for three, that's McClure at the buzzer, can't convert. Whitfield away with the rebound, pushes up the floor and threw it away.
He thought he had Robert Andrews streaking. He just didn't put a lot of oomph on that pass.
It was the pass that he wanted.
Yeah.
Austin.
Here we go. Now we've got Andrews.
Andrews down the floor, left-hand lay-in. He'll get the basket. So Andrews with that basket, I think that takes him to 7 in this first half of play. 18 seconds left first half. Morehouse with a 28-21 lead.
Yeah, he now has 7 now. He's now the leading scorer for the Maroon Tigers.
Golden Rams with a chance to play for the final shot of the first half. On the move is Young. In and out. Inside the paint now.
Nothing but black jerseys.
To finish the first half. So the Golden Rams will finish with 14 turnovers in this first half of play. They cough it up there right before the break. At the halftime, Morehouse leads it 28-21. Now, for a tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King here at halftime.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is a faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring, and if America is to be a great nation, this freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California.
As a young man, I had my choices of schools, universities, and
We are back live inside Forbes Arena at the intermission. Morehouse with a 28-21 lead over the Golden Rams of Albany State. Glad you could join us to spend part of your MLK Day with us. Charles Ward, Eric Slaughter, Tucker Toole along as well. Eric, we get set for the second half. The news from the Morehouse locker room is that we likely will not see Michael Omar over the second half.
Well, I've had it confirmed. I went over there and did a little homework. They said he will be out the second half. He's on his way to get checked out by a doctor. Hopefully it's not something that will keep him out long term. Good thing is the Maroon Tigers, after they get done playing today, they get a little break from action. I think they have the next 4 or 5 days off.
They're not back in action until next Saturday.
So we'll see.
I know you were on the Golden Rams side of the things at the break, and you got an update on Juwan High.
And Juwan High was in the Maroon Tiger locker room getting stitched up because he got elbowed in the eyes. So I do see he returned out for warm-ups, but he is stitched up, as you can see.
He's got that left eye. And even further reporting from the locker room from Morehouse area, because I was back in the tunnel and saw Kendall Walker, the reserve for Michael Obert. He was limping a bit down in the tunnel, and I asked him, I said, can you go second half? He said, yeah, but he didn't really look convincing that he could.
Well, I think we talked about it before. We're going to see a lot of Omar Austin handling the ball for the Maroon Tigers. We're going to see. They said he did it in high school. Now he's a senior in college. He's grown about 4 inches since then. So we'll see how it goes for us. We're going to have to buckle down on offense. If we continue making our free throws, that'll pay heavy dividends as we come down the stretch of the second half.
It's interesting to see what the adjustments will be in this second half of play. Only 28 points in that first half for the Maroon Tigers and 21 for the Golden Rams of Albany State. We referenced it a few minutes ago. 62 points on Monday for the Maroon Tigers against Fort Valley. This would certainly looks to be a low-scoring affair as well, but it's absolutely critical that Morehouse comes out of this ball game with a win.
Yes, indeed. Well, we held Albany State to 21 first half points. We're going to need another stellar defensive effort on the second half. They're only shooting 30% from the floor. Morehouse not doing much better, but it still has us in the lead.
Golden Rams will handle the basketball to get us started in the second half of play. They'll set their offense as they come on to get set to bring the basketball inbounds. This is Whitaker handling the inbound pass just in front of our bench. They'll go straight to the alley-oop. Down low, they got it to Williams at the block, but denied by James Walker backside.
All right, 6'5" versus 6'9", and he went over the back and got that block.
So Walker with the block there. Offense, Austin challenging left side, to your point. Williams going to be guilty of the block down low there, but Austin handling that basketball left side, penetrating.
Attacking the basket, getting the first foul of the second half, and he'll hit to the line where he's 2 out of 2 on the day.
And I was just about to say, Austin hit his free throws earlier, so he's 100% from the line so far. Let's hope he can keep it up.
Austin, Monday's game, 8 points, 12 rebounds, 1 block, 2 steals in 40 minutes of play.
And he knocks that one through.
And it looked true, just spun right through the net.
All-conference player, leads the team in scoring, 14.8 points per ball game. And clean from the line that trip. 30-21 now, Morehouse with the lead after the 2 free throws by Omar Austin. This is Jarrett Harrington handling for the Golden Rams now. Gooden has that defensive assignment. Now out front with the basketball is Harris.
No real foul trouble for the Maroon Tigers in the first half. Jamal Gooden, the only player with 2. So everybody's in good shape. We're not real healthy, but we do have fouls to give and play with. So we can play hard on the defensive end and try to keep creating those turnovers.
McClure missed in the corner for the Golden Rams. Morehouse with the basketball and the lead now as Kendall Walker handles out front. Left side, James Walker. Everton trying to get it on the turn. Good bounce pass backside. Gooden left it short. Austin with a great pass on the inside. And Gooden just not able to finish that lay-in.
What Jamel Gooden needed to do there was take 1 dribble before he took off towards the basket. 1 more dribble would have gave him that last foot or so he needed for a flush.
Yeah, you got the sense that he just felt his timing was a little bit off in terms of his footwork.
Yep, 1 more dribble.
His timing was a little bit off, but it was a nice move, and he got to the basket, just was unable to finish it left it short. As Chabeze saves the
tried to save it there. I think they're going to give it over to the Golden Rams with a great effort by Chabeze, though.
So the defense is here. We've seen the Maroon Tigers get to loose balls. We've seen them tie up Albany State players. The defense is just working great for the Maroon Tigers.
Harrington out front now for the Golden Rams. Trying to get it into the hands of Harris. He does. Harris slides left side, banked it, missed on the shot, got his own rebound and a putback down. Napoleon Harris, the junior from Albany, Georgia, transferred there from Atlanta Metro.
And here is showing you can't give him a second chance down in there on the glass because he converted the second time around.
Walker missed on the shot in the corner, but Austin there with a rebound. Now tied up in the paint. Gooden had a hand on it. And they're going to award this timeout, I believe, to the Golden Rams. Good work on the inside there by Randy McClure.
Yeah, he got down low. We should have had a jump ball and maybe about
minimally invasive and robotic surgery. You don't have to let obesity rule your life. The Morehouse Healthcare Surgical Team can provide the weight loss surgical solutions to take your next step.
Back live inside Forbes Arena after the timeout. 18:20 left in this basketball game. Morehouse with a 30-23 lead. Half court set now for the Golden Rams as they got it across the timeline. At the block, they work it inside, and quickly it's Harrington with the basket right side.
The Maroon Tigers showed pressure in the backcourt. Albany State went over top, which any good coach team does, and they were able to get to the transition basket.
30-25 after that basket by the Golden Rams. Left side, Gooden with the basketball. Now over to Austin. Walker fires a three-pointer, banks it. Tigers in the corner.
Walker not afraid to pull up with that three-point shot.
Well, we've seen him hit those three-pointers early in the season. We know that when he gets a little space, that's all he needs. It's going to be a little more harder for him now that he's running the point and trying to find his offense.
And we talk about those Maroon Tiger sweet spots. We know that corner is definitely a sweet spot of his.
So Albany State gets the basket down low from their big man. So far here in the second half, teams just trading baskets.
33-27, Morehouse with the basketball now in the half-court set. Walker looked good on that last jumper.
Oh, yeah.
Kendall. Entry pass, Omar. Challenges, got double there. Across the floor, Gooden. Good crip shot there by him. It won't stay down. Rebound at the block, though. Reverse lay in by Austin's off the mark. Look at Chavez fight for another opportunity here. Morehouse with the fresh 30.
You know, for what the Maroon Tigers will lose with Kendall Walker replacing Michael Ulmer, he'll lose a little bit of passing ability, but offensively, he's actually more of a scoring threat than Michael Ulmer is.
Chavez with the jumper from outside. The spinner just won't stay down for the Maroon Tigers. That trip.
Couple bodies go to the floor fighting for that rebound as Young and Walker collided there.
This is Mario Young, the junior, handling out front. Now up front, top they go to Harris. They try to entry pass to Williams. Tapped away. Good surge on the inside by Morehouse. Gooden leads the break to Chavez right side. Chavez stepped on the inbound line, and the turnover sends it back to Albany State.
And Chavez was just moving before he actually had the ball, and he didn't have the ball secured before he started trying to go for the layup.
Well, turnover number 15 for Albany State, followed by turnover number 8 for the Maroon Tigers.
Tyler Walker, the junior from Douglasville, Georgia, out on the floor for the Golden Rams now. And Robert Andrews reporting back for Coach Brewer and the Maroon Tigers.
Along with Malik Kennedy, 6'5" freshman from Toronto, Ontario.
Well, here we are. We're in the situation now where defensively we've got a little left, but offensively we'll see who is the facilitator with the Maroon Tiger basketball.
Morehouse has dropped into his own zone defense now. Inside the paint is Young. Underneath, got it airborne, and he drew a foul. So Young will be at the line shooting here for Albany State. 15:58 left in the ball game. Timeout on the floor. 33-27, Morehouse leads. Inside Forbes Arena, 15:58 left in this basketball game. Golden Rams at the line shooting. Maroon Tigers with a 33-27 lead as Mario Young shoots from the line for the Golden Rams. And while he does that, guys, let's go back into another MLK fact. Our question here.
Let's do it.
We all know that Dr. King was the youngest recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize when he won it. And since then, it has been awarded to someone younger. Can you tell me who it is?
No, I cannot. I ain't even going to embarrass myself on that one.
That's a pretty tough one.
Yeah, honestly, I have no idea.
You'll have to dig into this. You'll remember that. You may remember this. Remember the young Pakistani woman, Malala Yousafzai?
I do.
Was shot.
Okay.
She was given the Nobel Peace Prize at age 17.
Wow. Amazing.
Dr. King got it at age 35.
You know, so when I was watching a Dr. King tribute a couple of days ago, and they were talking about his Nobel Peace Prize, and they were talking about the people who have won it, then they were talking about some remarkable people that never won it. And I was surprised to hear that Gandhi never won the Nobel Peace Prize. What he did for peace, I mean, he could be the face of the peace movement, and he was never awarded the Nobel Peace Prize.
Well, maybe he won that prize through Dr. King because Dr. King said Gandhi was a major mentor of his.
Absolutely.
So maybe that's how that worked out.
We'll give you some credit for that. Now you can start being a graduate assistant type.
Well, as the Maroon Tigers get a 3 from the corner, we needed that offensive score right there. There's been a little bit of a drought here to start the second half.
Andrews got it down in the corner with the 3-point basket. So Harrington back out on the floor.
Almost yet another turnover by Albany State. The Maroon Tigers with their active hands on the defensive end. We've got to get something to get this crowd into the game. The crowd has kind of gotten quiet here on us, fellas. A steal and a flush would answer that question for us.
This is Harrington, works at left corner. Shot clock to 10 now for Albany State with 15:04 left in the ballgame.
And look at Harris and Austin battling in there.
Harris got the shot, and Austin wins that battle of his shots off the mark. They're tough.
And a frustration foul committed by Albany State. The young man got outworked for that rebound, and then he just reached in and committed a foul. We'll take every foul we can to get them into the penalty situation as quickly as possible.
Harrington, the senior, takes a seat, but that foul was called on the junior, Mario Young, for the Golden Rams.
And look at Omar Austin up top, leading that, bringing the ball up.
Walker going to challenge left side, missed on his shot. Nothing but black jerseys there as Kennedy follows and missed on that shot. Rebound and put back there by Trevese's off the mark, but he cleared it again for Morehouse.
3 or 4 offensive rebounds from the Maroon Tigers.
That's exactly what you want to see in that half-court set.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you have a lineup with everybody over the height of 6'5". So
just all with length and athleticism.
Here's Austin handling left side in traffic. Got it to the center there. He got a basket and a foul.
Are they going to? Yep, they gave it to him. I was waiting to see, make sure no one had a player control foul on that one. But the 6'6" point guard to the lane and one.
But to the point that we made early on, or you made it, Eric, that we'll see him handling that basketball a lot more because of the absence of Omar. It really showed some skill there.
Timeout, guys. There's no basket.
Back the other way. Now they're going to call it on him.
Yeah. Wow. That's the one thing I was afraid of. There was a little bit of player control. Looks like one referee gave the signal for the
basket. Yeah, but maybe that was a charge signal instead.
Oh man, I don't know what that was. That's two different signals you're supposed to give.
Boy. So the Golden Rams get the break. They'll have it at a half-court set. From outside, Harrington, and they double up on that. He got a triple there.
5-point swing.
So take the points off the board for Morehouse and add 3 for the Golden Rams.
Eric said Omar Austin's been running point guard, but I like to say he's running more of a point forward because even when Michael Olmer's in the game, you still see Omar Austin handle the block.
Tie up there near the free throw line. Robert Andrews and Mario Young, I think they went to the arrow on that. It looks like they'll stay with Morehouse. So good effort there. They missed on the shot, but Robert able to tie that basketball up.
Point forward, a la Scottie Pippen. You know, he was the first NBA player that they ever really credited as a point forward. So I can live with that today. You know, Grant Hill was a point forward type, and of course now in the NBA, LeBron, we got to call him a point forward.
It's the premier point forward.
So it'll be Kennedy left of the block to inbound the basketball and threw it right into the back of McClure.
But thankfully,
Morehouse able to keep it.
All right, so we're set up here. We've got 22 on the shot clock.
That was not pretty there. Kennedy out front now.
We've got to get a basket. That shot that was waved off, and then that three-pointer.
Having him challenged, missed on the inside, and a whistle there as Austin got the rebound backside, and he commits to travel.
Just shuffled his feet a little bit as he was trying to gather himself to go up with authority. And the Maroon Tigers are definitely out of rhythm. They're feeling the effect of Michael Allred not being on the floor.
That's just what I was about to say, Eric. You see the flow of the offense just completely changing with Michael Allred being out of the game.
10th turnover there for the Maroon Tigers. A 4-point lead.
And fellas, I actually talked to Director of Player Relations, Martavius Little, before the game about Michael Allred. And he said last year Tyrus was more of the scoring guard, and he said this year Michael Allred's been able to, facilitate, and that's been his role as a leader on this team.
Malik Kennedy handling out front this time. They're drawing that double toward him. They got it over to Omar. And Omar down at the block to Chavez, and they throw it away right into the hands of Williams. Opportunity here, though, for Malik Kennedy, the freshman, who has not played a lot for the Maroon Tigers in this season, but an opportunity here with the injury to see if he can't step up.
On the offensive end for the Maroon Tigers, every once in a while you have to be a little selfish as a player. Right there, Chabeze had a good look at a 7-foot jumper, but we know the Maroon Tigers have taught to make that extra pass, but sometimes you got to say, no pass, I'm going to take this shot right now.
So Walker checking back into the game for the Maroon Tigers.
Yeah, Coach Brewer saw enough of that. He's like, I got to give me a true point guard back on the floor.
Out front now. Harrington handles. Left side Young. Now inside at the block. Harris fights toward the rack, but he missed on the shot. Outlet pass Kennedy. 2-on-1 basketball. Now Kennedy to the rack, and he missed on the shot.
And that time he was too selfish. Yeah, that time he was too selfish.
You asked for it there. Back the other way. Harrington got the basket for the Golden Rams and went out to a 2-point lead for the Maroon Tigers.
And I honestly thought Kennedy was going to lob it
to Andrews,
because
he the defense
gave him that signal, you know.
Well, see, there's certain players that have an offensive flow to him. Chabeze is more of a more natural offensive player. I want him to be selfish, but Kennedy being the freshman, I want him to share the ball.
Oh, now you're getting picky. Back live inside Forbes Arena. 11:55 left. Things tightening up here. Morehouse leading only by 2 now. 36-34 and having some difficulty getting the basketball in play after the timeout. And it's another turnover. Clock violation on that, so the Golden Rams will have the basketball.
Interesting choice by Morehouse having Tramel Gooden as the out-of-bounds passer. He's not known to be that much of a creator on offense, so we need to get a defensive stop here because Albany State can tie it up or take the lead.
Aaron Washington back out on the floor now for the Golden Rams and whistles down inside the paint. Looks like that was going to go against Tramel based upon his reaction to the call. Non-shooting foul for the Golden Rams. Young back out on the floor for Albany State. He will replace Titus Burns in their lineup. Patrick Gale, we haven't said very much about him, but he's his first year at Albany State in terms of head coaching position.
But I read his bio. He's got a lot of experience.
Indeed.
Man, oh man.
Did a great job at NAIA University.
Yeah.
I mean, the basket there in the corner, three-pointer, and the Golden Rams take a point lead.
And that's why I wanted to tell you about how well of a coach Albany State is. He can't come from all that winning and not be a quality coach.
Indeed. Jumper outside.
The Tigers are going to need if they're going to continue to keep up the pace, because it seems that Albany, even though they turned the ball over there, pick up the pace here until the second half.
16th turnover of the basketball game for the Golden Rams now. Morehouse with the 2-point lead and the basketball after that turnover.
Well, you know, the Maroon Tigers have won 7 straight against the Albany State Golden Rams. The last time the Rams beat Morehouse was here at Forbes Arena back in 2014, almost 5 years to the day. In my notes, they beat us on February 20th of 2014. Well, hopefully there's no upset in the making here today.
Indeed, you're right. On that last play, there was a tie up there. The basketball is going to stay with the Golden Rams. But Tucker, to your point, at halftime, we saw Jawan High back out on the floor momentarily with the bandage over the left eye. But he's back to the bench now.
And that stitching might have an effect on his play.
Still there. Here comes Morehouse. They got a run out here. 2-on-1. Gooden left side. And good defensive work. Chasing that play down was Jared Harrington for Albany State. But Tramel Gooden going to be headed to the line for the Maroon Tigers.
And fellas, what a difference to having a true point guard leading the break. You see how he led the player into his layup? That ball was put right on the money when he wasn't able to convert it. And I'm not going to give him free throws on this either, but still it was a great pass.
Morehouse half-court set instead. Omar Austin in the lane. Gooden now back up to Kimball. Robert. Dish James Walker for 3. Got it!
Perfect time for James Walker to get his first 3 of the day to go down.
And everybody back. Now they step up the intensity on the defense as well. Golden Rams across the timeline. Fans starting to get into it a bit. He also tapped inside the paint. Williams had it and a whistle. Tied up by Gooden on the inside.
And that's going to be his fourth.
I believe. Yeah, it is.
And I disagree with the officials on that call. Williams did not have great control of the basketball, and Trammell reached in to tie him up. They're saying he grabbed his body or his arm. I saw a clean defense on that.
That was a jump ball.
10:27 remains. Morehouse with a 42-37 lead. Golden Rams half-court set. Left corner, firing the jumper. That one's off the mark there by Walker.
Chibese
comes away with the rebound.
Back on the floor now, replacing Trammell.
Andrews.
Coach Bull up off the sideline calling the plays. He's really going to have to coach him up today.
Kendall Walker working it left side just in front of the bench. Tapped away, but if James Walker runs it down, they don't get a fresh set though. Only 7 to shoot. Chibese, he knows it, fires, missed, put back by Austin.
That was not a shot, that was a pass. It was a pass right on the money to Omar.
It will go down as an assist by Chibese.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if it's just me, guys, but it always seems like Omar's in the right place at the right time for the Maroon Tigers.
Yeah, back the other way at the block in the right place at the right time. That's Williams. They're going to count that basket on a foul.
Now the question is this, do you give Chibese the assist or do you give Omar credit for an offensive rebound and a putback? I would bet you Omar will want the rebound. He's going to get the points regardless. Give him a rebound.
Absolutely. Well, you know, he is 5th in the nation in rebounds, so if you had the air, you really want to fall at the favor it that way.
Yeah. Give him a rebound. Give him a rebound.
Yeah, you're not padding stats. You're making the right choice.
That's right.
Williams, the senior from Miami, Florida, shooting here for the Golden Rams. Chance for a 3-point play there. Missed on the free throw.
That shot was strong, so the Maroon Tigers have pushed their lead back up to 5. The biggest lead of the day has been 9 early in the second half. We'll see if we can get it closer to that with a made basket here.
Walker lost this dribble out front. Now pushes over to Chibese. James Walker in the corner. It's Kendall Walker out front handling. James Walker at the swing. Walker to Ebonham. Shot clock to 5 now. James on the move. Stops. Gets it back to Robert Andrews. Squares. Fires. Got it!
Last 2 threes by Robert Andrews. Finally able to get his body square. Straight up, you know, once he does that, he's a dead-eye shooter.
Boy, that ball barely touched the net there. Here they come with a run out now. 2-on-1. Bounce pass. Robert.
Might be time for Albany State to get a timeout as the Maroon Tigers are now forcing turnovers and getting easy transition baskets.
Starting to drill it here. A violation here. Stepping on the line. Basketball back over to the Maroon Tigers.
And that's just a way to shoot yourself in the foot. You actually had the numbers, Albany State, and then you step on the sideline and give the ball right back to a Maroon Tiger team that's starting to get into the offensive rhythm.
19th turnover of the basketball game by Albany State. 8:41 left in the contest. Fans will erupt here if Morehouse can come away with another basket here. They lead by 10.
And one of our best three-point shooters is now on the floor in Devontae Butler.
Ebonham at the post left side, over to Devontae. Butler, the junior from Grayson, Georgia. Andrews wanted to get it inside to Austin. Denied there. 8 to shoot. Walker in the corner. Actually blocked there by Williams. Good defense by the Golden Ram defender there. And they go back the other way, pushing a 3. This is Walker. He's fouled behind the arc. He'll be shooting 3 here for Albany State.
James Walker just was able to get that shot up over the 6'9" Williams.
Hey, it's not only that he couldn't get over it. You saw the difference there. James Walker has a slow release on his shot. You see how quickly the Albany State offensive player got his up. That's why he was able to get his foul.
But also Walker maybe not really wanting to take that shot, but the clock shot.
Absolutely.
That clock was so far down. I think maybe they had 3 or 4 seconds left. So a lot of things going wrong in that scenario in the corner.
But it's okay there. In the blink of an eye, the Maroon Tigers took their 5-point lead and extended it to double digits, their first 10-point lead of the game.
So at the line, it's Tyler Walker for the Golden Rams. Walker.
This is the second throw.
So 0-2 from the line thus far. So chance for us to do some MLK trivia here.
Okay, Charles.
All right. So we know him as Martin Luther King Jr.
Yes.
But growing up, what was his given name as a child?
His nickname?
Michael.
Is that producer Chuck Johnson weighing in down there? I didn't know he was a part of the contest.
I don't think they asked you the question, Chuck.
But give him credit. It sounds like he got it right.
I think he did, right? He peeped my notes. I
got it right.
Well, now Chuck actually put together a nice piece at halftime on Dr. King.
So he's done some homework.
Probably where he ran across that information. So he played spoiler on that question. Timeout on the floor, 8:07 left. 8:07 remains here at Forbes. Morehouse with a 49-41 lead, trying to take their season mark to 15-2. Keith Hurd off the bench. Quick jumper there by Hurds off the mark.
That's okay. That was his spot on the floor. They got it to him quickly. We're not quite yet in time where you want to start working the clock, but the Maroon Tigers will slow it down a little bit. This time, Albany State does not get into that full court pressure.
As we look at Omar Austin handling the basketball up the floor for the Maroon Tigers.
And directing the traffic.
Sure. Devontae Butler in front of the scores table, far side of the floor now. Shot clock working its way down to 10. Evident back to Butler. Butler inside the paint. Floated it to Austin. Back to Devontae. He's got 5 to shoot now. He'll raise fire from outside. Almost had him knocked down there. He looked up, saw the shot clock was expiring. He could hear the fans telling him to shoot it.
Yeah.
Missed on the shot. Right side underneath. Going to have a whistle there as Burns goes underneath on the lay-in.
Well, we know that shot was in Butler's range. Butler's got that in the court range himself. He just wasn't in his natural rhythm. If he was, that shot probably goes down.
They call the foul on Keith Hurd. And that'll see Titus Burns to the line to shoot for the Golden Rams. Chance for us to squeeze in another MLK fact here. Now we know that Dr. King attended many protests in various parts of the country. If you had to guess, how many miles would you say he tracked for civil rights protests and attending marches and rallies in the time that he...
Now, are we talking air travel or like marching on his feet?
Miles. No, not marching on his feet.
But air travel.
Yeah.
I'm going to say...
It won't be air travel. It'll be car travel.
Car travel. I'm going to say well over 20, maybe 25,000.
25,000. Tucker?
I was thinking maybe a little bit more than that. So I'm going to go 50.
50? Okay, you'll get the answer after this half-court set by the Maroon Tigers. Walker behind the arc now, pushes across the floor. Walker again whistles this time at the block. James took the tumble there. He's up and headed to the line. So
no, it's going to be out of bounds.
Shoot there.
No, it's going to be baseline out of bounds for the Maroon Tigers.
6:54 left in the ball game, 49-43. So you said 25,000.
Yes.
Tucker says he thinks it's north of that of 50,000.
I'm getting the feeling we're both way under.
You're not going to believe the number.
Over 100 maybe?
200.
How about 6 million?
6 million?
6 million.
Goodness,
6 million miles.
I was going to say 100,000 originally.
Okay, I hope he was flying. That's a lot of miles.
You can count a lot of it, but back then you got to know a lot of that was in the South and a lot of car travel. No question.
A lot of bus rides. A lot of
2,500 different protests he attended as Walker got to the inside the paint and got a lay in there. Inside pass now, whistle there. Going to have a foul called on the inside.
I mean, once I thought about it, I thought my number was a little low. You think about it, from here to Birmingham is about 200, maybe 250 miles. You go over to Mississippi, you go over to Texas, you're adding, 700, 800 miles. So a round trip could be easily 2,000, so that's not that many, but wow, 6
And you got to factor in the time as well. That was from 1957 to 1968.
10 years, about a good decade.
Yeah, that's a lot of time and a lot of distance.
So all he was doing was traveling.
Yeah, we are awfully thankful that he did.
Yeah.
You know, when we think about Dr. King and Tucker, I'm not sure if you've ever had a chance to, every year when the Maroon Tigers, not every year, but often, as they call an offensive foul against Omar, when the Maroon Tigers go up to Memphis to play Lamar and Owen, they'll make a stop at the National Civil Rights Museum in Lorraine Motel. If there's anyone listening today that hasn't had the opportunity to visit that museum in Lorraine Motel, it's got to be put on your bucket list.
Absolutely. It will put you in a different state of mind completely.
And how they've, kept the room the same of how it looks. The day, they never made it up. All the pictures that they could recreate the scene. Absolutely. It's an actual memorial.
No question about it.
Have you ever been, Tucker?
Nope.
You got to do it. You got to do it.
Still on my list.
Yeah.
We'll go up next year when the Morehouse plays Lemoyne. That's another school that you got to go see on the road.
Yeah, sure.
That's a serious crowd.
Back the other way, whistles inside, and this time it's going against the Golden Rams. A bump inside. Keith Hurd taking the charge. Although there was a foul there.
Going back and forth here.
And Keith Hurd is down now. What's going on here today?
Boy, a lot of entries in this ball game today. Michael Obert first. Now Keith Hurd, Kendall Walker banged up just a bit.
And he's grimacing, but he's not laying down, so that's a good sign. It's probably just something pain-wise that should go away after a few moments.
So Craig Boyd to take a look at him with 6:06 remaining in the basketball game. Morehouse with a 51-43 lead. And
it's got to be cold.
After the timeout, 6 minutes left in the basketball game. Keith Hurd escorted back to the trainer's room here at Forbes Arena. Not good for the Maroon Tigers.
Well, I hope the ice machine is working at full speed because there's going to be a lot of Maroon Tigers in the ice bath after this contest.
This is Harrington banking it left side, and he got a basket there and a timeout taken by the Golden Rams after that basket.
Calls for Coke. You know it.
Grab yourself a Coke. It's
By the Golden Rams. So Keith Hurd now injured. Michael Obert early on. Kendall Walker had some problems at halftime. Morehouse leading it here with the win. It will come probably at a heavy price for Morehouse. It will stay the same.
Yeah, well, thankfully, actually, it's going to be real good. The Maroon Tigers only have 2 games over the next 14 days. We're going to need that time to heal up a little bit.
We do, right. And we can't forget, they've been playing on the road. They just got home. They had a game Saturday. So, you can expect the guys to have a little wear and tear on their bodies.
Well, technically we go back out on the road, but it's technically, not that far of a road trip. About 800 feet, maybe, 1,000 feet down the street to us.
It's across the street.
Right? Well, I'm talking about to the actual gym. The gym's about a couple blocks.
After the timeout, Morehouse with the basketball. This is Austin penetrating left side. Pushes across the floor. Up top, James Walker got a good look there. Front of the iron, though. Rebound cleared by Harris and the Golden Rams. Left corner now, pushing the 3 there. This is Walker. His shot is off the mark. 5:10 remains.
Titus Burns on to the floor for Albany State.
Pass there. Almost throwing it away.
We talk about that trip over to Clark as the Maroon Tigers get down low. There's Omar up.
Yeah,
that shot won't go down.
And if that would have went in, they would have set Forbes Arena off.
Yeah. So you talk about that trip over to Clark. Remember, we've had our memorial to Coach McAfee earlier this year, and I remember he used to tell some stories. And nowadays we charter a bus just to go down the street to Clark, and he would tell me stories. Buses? We didn't have no buses. We traveled in station wagons. Remember those stories he used to tell? They would have 3 station wagons. One drove by each assistant coach, and that's how they would do their road trips.
Wow. Austin missed on that first free throw from the line. Mario Young back out on the floor for the Golden Rams. Austin now 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Morehouse 9 of 14 from the charity stripe. One more coming for Omar. So we were talking about Dr. King and that there are being streets named after him in almost every city in the country. Another guess on how many streets are named after Dr. King.
Tucker, let you go first this time.
I'm going to say about 30.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna multiply that by about 10, maybe 15. I'm gonna say maybe 450, 500.
450, 500. That's a good guess. 30, Tucker? Probably 30 in the state of Georgia.
It's probably 30 in the state of Georgia.
You're in the counties. Yeah. Up Atlanta.
I'm thinking major cities.
4:22 left in the ball game. Eric, you're close, but it's over 900.
Over 900. Great down low look by Omar Austin to the little guy, Walker, down low with the layup.
Kendall got the space for the lay-in. We approach 4:05 left in the ball game now. Morehouse with a 53-47 lead. Burns out front, the freshman you referenced there. Tucker handles the basketball. 1 to 4 minutes left. He'll square, drains a jumper, and a foul line at left side of it.
And this game is far from over. Albany State chipping away.
Leading down the floor.
Yeah.
Trying to get it inside. They got it there to Robert Andrews. He'll backpedal with Young providing the defense for Albany State.
Keith Hurd has come back from out the locker room, and he looks like he's okay.
Andrews for three. Boy, he is barely knows the net at all.
You know when he's on the wing and he squares up like that, you already know what's going to happen.
Well, that gives him 18 points on the day, guys. He's 4 out of 5 from beyond the arc, 7 out of 9 from the field.
Andrews leading the Maroon Tigers in scoring the last 5 ball games in a row. On his way to its 6th now at 18 at this point.
And doing it today off the bench for the Maroon Tigers.
Out front with the jumper, the shot's off by Harrington. Omar Austin does his normal thing and clears a rebound.
And it puts him in double figures. He's got a double-double today. He's got 10 points, and now he has 11 rebounds.
Double-double, that's his 11th of the season for the Maroon Tigers. And over his career, that's number 23 double-double for Omar Austin. Walker for three. Yeah!
James Walker with the rainbow. Just like that, Maroon Tigers push their lead back out to 10, and the three-point shots are falling.
James Walker finding the range. 2:20 remains. Burns, bounce pass at the block. That's nicely done by the freshman Tamario Young for the lay-in.
Trading 3 for 2, though, is not what Albany State wants to do right now. And now the Maroon Tigers can begin to work the clock as we approach 2 minutes.
Chavez handles it just in front of the scorer's table. Now James Walker takes a look. 16 to shoot for Morehouse. 1:55 left. Kendall behind the arc in front of the Morehouse bench now with 7 on the weave. James again for 3. Just about counted.
Yeah, I heard you. That's all right. We got an offensive rebound out of it, and we'll set it up to run some clock. Albany State takes a foul up top.
1:39 left in the ball game. The freshman high, a correction on that, with Burns that committed the foul. So a timeout with 1:39 left. Morehouse leads it 59-51. We'll stay here for the break. Back live inside Forbes Arena, MLK Day. Glad you could spend part of it with us here on the Morehouse campus. Morehouse with a 59-51 lead. Now make it 60-51 as Kendall Walker, the senior, hits the free throw there. And credit Kendall, had to step in with Omar getting hurt in this basketball game. It has turned in a fine performance for the Maroon Tigers.
He is up to 17 minutes of action. It's probably his season high because Michael Allman usually plays about 32, maybe 33 minutes a game. So yes, indeed, and we'll see how much action he'll be forced into in the next contest. Like you said, the Maroon Tigers will have 5 days off. So Michael Allman's sitting over there in that office chair. It looks like he could come back in right now, but they're probably just being preventive of keeping him out of there.
I was back there when Craig Boyd had the conversation with him to make the decision to keep him out, and it was more preventive, as you indicate. He said he was having some neck pressure every time they pressed back on his chest, so just wanted to be sure.
Well, he's sitting in that $100 office chair. He's got the best seat in the house over there right now.
My cigar.
I tell you.
1:06 remains and a whistle and a half-court set for the Golden Rams.
I'm going to tell you how I knew it wasn't as bad as I thought. His dad's still walking around snapping pictures. Looks like he doesn't have a worry in the world.
Well, I'll tell you what, his mom was back there with him, though.
Yeah.
She was shouldering.
Okay, that's where it was.
Yeah, every time they pressed against his chest,
you said that breathe for her?
Yeah, she was making faces. Craig looked at her and said, well, it looks like you're taking it in for him.
All right, so that's good news. We're all laughing about it. Michael's smiling because it looks like the Maroon Tigers will finish this out with 1:05 to go and 8-point lead. And Kendall stepping back up. Let's see if he shoots these the way he shot those first two.
Hit the first two, no problem.
Yeah.
Chance for us to sneak in another quick factoid here as he hits the first. All right, everybody has had a summer job at one point or another, right?
Okay.
Yep. As a kid, what was Dr. King's summer job?
There weren't many fast food restaurants back in the 40s. Because this would have been in the 40s.
McDonald's out.
I want to say he worked at maybe the YMCA or some type of local community center.
I was going to say, yeah, maybe he worked at like the candy store or something like that. I don't know.
Okay, what? I didn't hear it. Candy store.
Like a dollar store, penny store. Back then they had penny stores, right?
Oh, absolutely. They still got penny stores.
Well, you guys are being a little bit too urban in your approach to answering this question.
Okay, so he worked on a farm or something like that? Okay. Talk to me.
He would travel to Connecticut every summer.
Connecticut?
And do what? Harvest tobacco.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know they harvested Connecticut, up in the Northeast. He could go right to North Carolina and do that job.
Closer to home. Yeah. All the jobs are taken down here.
I see, I tell you.
Less competitive market. 56 seconds left here.
Well, I guess we should be happy that on his trips up to Connecticut, he didn't discover Yale or one of those Ivy League schools up there in the Northeast.
Never make it back here.
That's right.
That's right. In fact, that was really one of his kind of nucleus episodes in his life where he found comparing it to the South, that the Caucasians in the North were a lot nicer, a lot more friendly.
Absolutely.
Experiencing as a part of his regular non-summer life here in the Atlanta area.
Yeah. Well, he was destined to be a leader no matter where he went. Of course, he did his undergrad at Morehouse. But I know this one. Where did he do his postgraduate studies?
Boston U.
Boston U, right up there in the Northeast. So obviously he did like it up there a little bit.
Indeed. And Chabese good on both free throws from the line. The team's leading free thrower very good and clear on those two.
Well, the Maroon Tigers are now almost 70% from the free throw line. Can we bottle this and keep it for the rest of the season?
I think we can. Good performance in this.
Tip our hat to the Maroon Tigers, translating from last game's free throw performance.
Oh, absolutely.
Inside on a putback, Golden Rams got a basket there.
Cannot teach that. That's size and effort by that big fella going up and getting that rebound and putting it back up.
Can't forget strength either.
Oh, yeah, strength too.
Williams, the senior from Miami, Florida, shooting at the line for Albany State. Albany State going to go to 7-13 on the season, but they were second in the East coming into today's ball game.
Williams, transfer from Iona.
Transferred into the program. And as you referenced, we will see this team again down at the Hyper Arena on the Albany State campus in early February.
Yep. Just over 2 weeks. They have another nice facility down there. I always enjoyed going down to Albany. I mean, they've got a beautiful campus, nice athletic facilities, and, of course, they are the class of this conference when it comes to football and baseball, sometimes volleyball.
Sure, absolutely.
So,
but to your point, you talk about the Hyper Gymnasium on the Albany campus proper. Now remember that Darden was merged into Albany State. So now they have two basketball facilities they can choose to play from.
Wow.
On either side of small Albany.
Yeah.
Andrews at the line shooting here for the Maroon Tigers. Just trying to wrap things up now. Rattled that first free throw good. So Andrews at 22 points on the ball game for the Maroon Tigers.
I mean, what kind of feeling can Coach Grady Brewer feel like? He's like, look, I can put you in the starting lineup, get you 20. I can bring you off the bench, you give me 20.
Sure.
And I got you for 2 more years.
Got to be a comfort zone there for Coach Brewer as Andrews hits them both from the line. Young across the timeline with 36 remaining in the basketball game. Morehouse going to go to 15-2 on the season. Excuse me, as they work it down inside. Shots off by Harrington.
No need to shoot the basket now. We can just dribble the clock out. We'll see if Albany State wants to take a foul or not, but this is pretty much academic.
Yep. Andrews out front with 10 seconds left, and he'll just dribble this thing out. So Morehouse, sluggish first half, able to kind of put things together in the second half to perhaps change and take another mark into the records of Morehouse basketball. 66-58, this troops win it tonight over the Golden Rams of Albany State. Coach Brewer with us here at the table, but as you expect, some of the fans coming over to meet and introducing it to some of the players they potentially be these Morehouse prospects. Coach Brewer taking the time to meet those young men as they come to the sideline. So gracious Coach Brewer talking to them, and happy to have him join us here in the post-game. Coach, you win it 66-58. We'll start with the first half. Sluggish a bit, the team, and then we'll start to talk about the second half when Oldham went out and just what that did for you, or what did that put you in terms of what you felt you needed to do with Michael out of that lineup?
It puts us in a difficult situation because Michael is so good with the basketball and distributing the ball, and so the players know him. They've been working with him for a while. They got a lot of confidence in Kendall Walker. Kendall is a senior. He's been around the program a long time, and he's turned his ankle also in that stand, but he fought through it, and he ended up helping us by knocking down free throws in the end. So I told him all the time, you got to be a senior, you got to wait, because you're going to end up having that ball in your hand when you're a senior.
How did it change the rhythm of the game when Oldham? It just seemed like it just took us a couple of minutes maybe to find the right pieces to be out there on the game just like a little bit.
Well, we like Austin Omar at the ball handling position because he makes such good basketball plays with it, but he's not used to doing it on a regular basis. So it kind of knocks you out. You know, a point guard is like losing your quarterback in the game. And now you got a different type of style of quarterback. The ball is being hiked different, and it's just a difference when that happens. I hope he's okay. Kim will be able to hold it down until he gets back. And then we just have to regroup. We changed the lineup earlier in the game, try to get a little bit more energy where we play and how we play. And I thought that worked early on, but we need to work on it a little bit better.
We started James Walker in the ball game this afternoon. He was sluggish in that first half, but started to come on at a critical time for us.
Yes, I mean, James, I call him the old man because he plays like an old man sometimes, but he got it going, hit a couple of big threes for us down the stretch. And that's what we're looking for, those guys who go through the line with us, who know how to play in this type of situation.
Robert Andrews has maybe not been in the ground with us for too long, but over the last 6 ball games, he's led us in scoring in the last 5, did the same thing this afternoon. He is really starting to find his place with his offense.
Yeah, I mean, he's the ultimate teammate. He's a great basketball player. He's just going to get better. I mean, didn't say a word when we took him out of the lineup today. Just trying to get a feel and see how we can go in the stretch, but he came on and did what he does, and he did a great job for us.
Albany State, the bigger lineup that we had coming into today's ball game. What was your thought about how we countered that big size?
Make them play 94 feet. I wasn't going to they want to grind and bumpy grind with the big folks, and I didn't want that type of game with them, so I tried to pick up the pace, 94 feet. And like I said, it turned them over, and we got some transitional baskets like what Morehouse basketball does, but we just got to get better in what we're doing.
Coach, you win the ball game today, and you win it on a very special day for the nation and even the world. You win it on MLK Day, and I love Morehouse College. Talk a little bit about that.
I was telling the guys in shoot-around, it's just an honor for me to be able to coach a team on Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday and his honor, and I told them that this is the only time as a head coach I've ever had a game here. We're not going to lose this game. So my memory of playing on Dr. King's birthday will be a W, and they came out with a W.
It was a 66-58 56-58 W for the Maroon Tigers of Morehouse College. You win these 2 ball games at home. Now you go on a little road trek. First one not so far away from the campus at Clark Atlanta. What are you expecting that ball game on Saturday?
Well, you know, I told the guys also before this game, we're in a fight. And we're in a fight like we're in a fight when nobody's there to break it up. So you got to go in and make sure you kill or make sure you execute what you're doing out there. And I told them free throws is an example. They did a good job down the stretch. I think we missed 1 down the stretch. When you got them on the ropes, you let them go when you miss a free throw. We got to quit doing that. And when we're in this fight, there's nobody out there to help us. We got to make sure that we execute. The execution kills.
You win the fight today, 66-58 over the Golden Rams of Albany State, 15-2 on the season. Congratulations on the win, Coach.
Thank you, Charles.
Happy MLK Day.
Thank you, Steve. Same to you.
Sideline now, we go to Tucker Toole, standing by.
I'm here with Robert Andrews after another big performance. This is, I want to say, your 6th game where you've been leading the team in scoring. What's been your motivation for your play so far?
Just my teammates just bringing positive energy. I mean, they're doing a great job finding me. I'm just knocking down my shots.
You came off the bench in today's matchup. Did that change your mindset at all coming into the game and with your scoring?
Absolutely not. Whether I come off the bench or start, I still got to bring positive energy whichever way, play defense, run the floor, rebound. We did a good job of that, making free throws today.
And your star point guard, Michael Omer, went down with an injury.